But Cole, he understood what he had to do going into the season. Actually, why don't we play a little bit of the pitches from yesterday? Because that was the talk of the spring training game yesterday was how good Cole Irvin looked in his first outing. It's the first outing, but throwing 91, 92 to up to almost 95, 96.
Hit 95. Yeah, he only hit over 95 twice last year and did it here. We'll show you the pitch. Also, just it is 95, but this is the disgusting location to strike the batter out. Take a look. See ya. Watch it again. One more time. Hasta la vista.
And you know what's crazy is that the broadcaster said the exact same thing. He went,
It's just unreal. Yeah. It's unreal. When I was watching that, and that was one of those pitches where you truly felt Cole Irvin was in control. That was something where you're like, oh, Cole Irvin's here to pitch. Like, he's gotten another year in the pitching lab. We saw flashes of this Cole Irvin last year. I think that's what people don't necessarily understand is he was one of those guys that did what I think the Orioles were hoping he would do, but fans had higher expectations because he was brought in. He was kind of the pitching move last year. So fans were like, oh, Cole Irvin's got to be like towards the top. He's got to be one of our aces. And that's, I would love to see him take that step, but I think Cole Irvin is going to take that step this year and really show why the Orioles got him and be that kind of 3-4 pitcher that you can send out there every 5 days and you feel really confident that he's going to go get you a win.
Well, right now, Kevin, with the Orioles situation, they need him to. Tyler Wells and Cole Irvin, the hybrid to be able to go and pitch out of the bullpen and then going to be a starter. Mike Bauman was also Big Mike. Love Big Mike. Shout out Bow. He was a starter, but I don't know if that's going to be his role for this year, right? Because of just how it's set up. But Cole and Tyler did both last year. So that's why we're bringing it up. And they're going to be asked about it. So they're going to be asked to do that this year, especially with Kyle Bradish going on right now.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest thing is they went from, you had they thought they had Kyle Bradish and John Means to kind of fill out the 5. And then it was Cole Irvin and Tyler Wells. You guys are going to be 6 and 7. You assume you're going to need over the course of 162 games. You're going to need probably 7 to 8 starters. 7 to 8 guys are going to most likely start for you on the mound. But then with those 2 injuries, it was like, okay, this isn't, down the road, you're going to start in the bullpen. If we need you, you come into the rotation. This is, hey, you guys are competing and probably the front runners for the top next 2 rotation spots now until those guys get back whenever that may be. And I think especially so far, we've seen it with Cole Irvin. He looks ready. It was reported, and I also want to point this out. This wasn't something that came out of nowhere. This wasn't, oh, wow, Cole Irvin showed up to his first game, and this was, just hype from jitters or something, and he was throwing harder, had more movement. It was reported days before this start that, hey, someone that looks really good this year with extra velo and movement is Cole Irvin, and we're excited to see what he can do. Goes out there, pitches 2 great innings, and, just put on a show. It was one of those things where you saw him pitching, and you were like, that is a confident and scary Cole Irvin.
Essentially, they were 7 deep to begin, with no injuries, right? There were 7 guys, if you want to count Bauman in there, you're 8. But again, I don't know if the role for him is going to be a starter.
No, yeah.
But at this point, this is what you almost like, quote unquote, prepare for, where you have to be prepared for it, where you can have 5 quality starters and then have no one else behind you and just kind of risk that, we're going to get through a full 162 healthy. But that rarely happens. There's going to be injuries, IL stints, whatever it may be. So the fact that you can just slide a Tyler Wells in or slide and improve Cole Irvin in there is such a luxury for them to have. And then you also have these other prospects that maybe over the course of the season, like a Cade Povich, a Chase McDermott, like those guys can come in.
Seth Johnson
exactly
dominated today.
Today was balling. So you still have those guys. So you could say by the end of the season, with maybe the way those guys are pitching, maybe you could be 8 deep or 9 deep or 10 deep. So it's a luxury for him to have. So whenever you get a guy like Means back or a guy like Bradish back, I think you have the opportunity to go out there and perform because you have guys that can fill in and step up when they need to.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing to just remember, like you guys are talking about, is the competitive nature. You find out a lot about who you have or what people are made of when things don't go their way. Cole Irvin last year, personally, that was embarrassing in the sense of not that what he went out there and didn't pitch well. I don't give a shit about that. Like, I wanted him to do well. What I'm saying is you got traded and you were the first one domino to be like, you know what, we're sending you down.
Yeah.
And that's a gut punch. And it was a really tough battle for him, but Cole didn't hang his head. He kept battling and said he would do whatever he needed to do to help the team. It's hard to then, change things during a season because then you're trying to maintain and get by. And then he said, you know what, I'm going to go into the offseason. And he studied. He even said, and like shout out even Pitching Ninja, great account on X, talked about how he was able to talk about a cut fastball and how to really get better in the lab and really start to do some great things. So that's what I love. The Orioles have a lot of guys like that. And maybe it goes into the answering this question about the Trevor Bauer callers or preachers that say the Orioles should bring him in. The depth that they have, first off, the Orioles, I think, are surprising people. I thought the pitching so far, spring training, has been very, very good. You talked about Seth Johnson. People forgot about because of the injury, and he's still a ways away, by the way. We're not going to see him in Baltimore to start the season. We might not even see him in Baltimore at all this year, right? Long way to go. But there are guys that they're building up, and you got to let them develop, and it's really cool to see. And the other part for Trevor Bauer, this is just it. With a young, exciting team, do you want to have any type of baggage that comes along with it? Trevor Bauer could go out there and be a Cy Young candidate. He could. Yeah. He also could be a middle of the road pitcher. And then what do you do? But the biggest thing is with one of the most exciting teams. Well, I saw on Instagram, someone said 4 or 7 posts were like the Orioles, right? Yeah. And I think people love watching that. Do you want to change that? And that's a big question. What do you got?
I will say Barstool Sports posted earlier today, they had Trevor Bauer come in and do a workout against Barstool employees. And today, or I guess probably yesterday, and Marty
laced a couple.
Marty Mush was getting hits off of him. So I don't know if that's necessarily that was what was crazy is people were like, why are you posting this? Like he was posting it as like he posted his parts where he was like, here's what I'm doing against the Barstool office. And then Marty Mush is posting these videos like another single. And it's like, okay, I don't know if Bauer wanted those ones going out. So that was tough. But I think another part is kind of what you hit on. There's so many guys I think, especially right now, I don't see the Orioles bringing any other pitcher just because they want to see what they have. They're looking at these guys like McDermott, Povich, Johnson, Armbruster, which 3 shutout innings against a very good, I believe, Braves lineup today. I believe that's the game he pitched in. And these are guys that, like you said, Ryan, maybe we're probably not going to see them start the year there, but these are guys that they have high hopes for, that they think that are going to go out there maybe the second half of the year. And if they need them to step up, they can. McDermott's been the one getting a lot of good looks recently. People are very excited about him coming out of camp so far.